This is LA's first.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome to the Dr. Erin Show. We're all about manifestation, transformation, and breakthroughs. It's time to claim your birthright of prosperity, vitality, and love. So grab your tea or coffee because together, we're awakening the world. May you live your truth. Live from Los Angeles, we come together each day to know the truth, live on spiritual principles, align with universal law, and break through all limited beliefs so we can claim our birthright of prosperity, vitality, and love. This podcast, we teach spirituality. We teach universal law, metaphysics, unity, science of mind, really step by step how to make your dreams reality, how to use your consciousness in this realm. We also come together as a community in Soul Society and New Thought Global. Our vision is to be the #1 spiritual community. We're committed to enlightenment, empowerment, and entrepreneurship. We truly believe that when somebody awakens, they have a gift and a message to bring to the world, and together, we're awakening the world. So today's podcast is titled, Birth Your Purpose and Design Your Life. So I'll never forget, there was a moment, it was years and years back. I was in a jet. I was up, however many feet, miles above the earth. Couldn't tell you. And I'm flying over this beautiful part of America. And I'm looking down at this greenery. It's all beautiful. And it's incredible when you fly up in a jet or in a plane and you look down to earth. And you recognize so many things. There's these beautiful, different greenery, and you see cities and towns from a different perspective. You see this beautiful thing called Mother Earth, and yet you see the boxes of the different, streets and things that we've put ourselves into. And I was looking down at this, beautiful scenery, and I recognized that I felt really empty inside. Here I was flying on a private jet. At this point in time, I was living in a 7,400 square foot home on a signature golf course. I was a millionaire. I had tons of passive income, and I was feeling a total void inside. And yet I was so proud of myself. I had come from nothing. I grew up fairly poor. We would go to the thrift store. I had to wait tables. As I was going through college, I dropped out to have my son after having a stillborn son. I had worked my ass off. So I wasn't there miserable because I was just had been given everything, and it wasn't my jet, but it was the whole lifestyle that I was living. And I found myself living a double life. I had this incredible life where I had mastered the material world in a sense. I had really risen in who I was and my abilities and business and in a lot of areas of my life. And I had this other life that was my spiritual life. I had been on a spiritual journey since I had had my stillborn at 22, and I would spend lots of time in my closet at home, literally, meditating. And I'd have these double lives. I'd go back to my home alone. I lived with my son. And I was single, and I would do all my spiritual work. I would dive into it. I was obsessed with consciousness. I would study it in all my free time. I would pray and meditate and do all my work and work with gurus and all this kind of stuff, take every course under the sun. And my other life was very material. I was mastering money, learning how to invest, learning how to save, learning how to, build all this stuff. And the gap between the two lives was becoming greater and greater. It was literally a divide in my heart and my mind. And so I'll never forget that there was a moment where I handed my life over to my spiritual world. And I recognized that at some level I needed to give up everything in my material world, mostly just in my consciousness. I didn't have to give it all up, but in a sense I had to be willing to give it all up. There was a part of me that had to die in order to really be reborn in my full new life. Because I knew there was this part of me that knew my entire life. I think it really started when I was a junior or senior in high school. There was this part of me that knew that I had a purpose. I didn't know what it was, but I knew I needed to figure it out. I knew I needed to discover it. And it was like this journey. Seeking truth was, for me, It wasn't just about having spiritual enlightenment, because I didn't even know what that was. I didn't know that there was a joy and bliss in that. For me, it was more about finding my purpose. And I knew, there was a part of me that knew. I knew that if I found that purpose, I would have a life beyond my wildest dreams. And I was right. So let's break on down today how to birth your purpose and how to design your life. Because today I can honestly say that I love my life, that I'm completely fulfilled. That doesn't mean that I don't have human moments and have, that void of attachment as we do as human beingness, right? And the puppets that we are. But I love my life. It's so incredible. My life is so incredible. We have an incredible community. My friends are all the most extraordinary, incredible, badass, spiritually based business, women and men. And we get to create, we get to make a difference in the world. I have, people in the community and clients and things send me messages, send me flowers, send things, and, just saying, thank you for giving me a life and helping me transform everything in my life. And thank you. I would never have anything if it weren't for the work we've done. That is what is fulfilling. The serving and the serving and the serving in the community. That is the most fulfilling part. So let's break on down how to birth your purpose, because you don't need to be somebody, whatever that is, someone who's standing in front of 1,000 people giving TED Talks, or your purpose is not necessarily to be, a influencer or anything. But what I want to birth is you. The authentic you. I don't want you to keep up with the Jones or keep up with, whoever it is that you see on social media. I want you to birth you, your true purpose. And so there is a formula after working with thousands of clients now, birthing their truth, birthing their purpose. There is an actual formula to it, okay? So let's break this on down. I'm not going to be able to tell you everything here because I do it through a workshop and I also do it through our community. We dive deep into the subconscious reprogramming and into the E4 trauma method and into the truth triangle to birth someone's truth and birth their purpose. But today I'm going to give you the formula so that you can make sense out of it and how to design your life, okay? So get out a pen and paper if you want, or I have a workshop you can watch after this, okay? You can get involved with, okay? So let's break this on down. There's an actual formula. And so what happened was, as I was birthing my truth and seeking truth, I kept looking out to the world. Thinking, maybe I'll find it over in this course, or maybe I'll find it out here, or maybe I'll find it in this book, or maybe I'll find it if I watch somebody or whatever it is. And it was a funny thing because the universe has a great sense of humor. And as I began to do more and more of my subconscious work, and as I began to get into Greek oracle processes and getting into my suffering, my trauma work, what happened was this, is as I began to do more and more of my trauma work, and I began to neutralize the emotions around my trauma, what we call it is trauma minus emotions equals wisdom. And what I recognized, and the big epiphany was for me, is that as I began to go down my track in this lifetime and past lifetimes, I began to see a theme for myself. And all the suffering that I had experienced was birthing the wisdom and the teacher that I am. And I'll always be a student as well. But what I found for myself was the triumph that I had over really healing all my suffering had a message in it. There was wisdom in that. And as I birthed my purpose of helping other people awaken and to their divinity and to the power that they are and help them manifest lives that they wanted and really end their suffering, that is what became my purpose. So the formula is a 3-part formula for birthing your purpose. You ready? It's triumphs plus passion plus skill set. I'll say it again. There's 3 things that equal your purpose. Triumph plus passion plus skill set equals your purpose. Okay? So when I work with clients, what happens is they want to figure it out. They want to design their business. They want to do all this, but they haven't done all their trauma work. So oftentimes they'll start their business, they'll start all this, and then something still doesn't feel completely authentic. It doesn't feel like as authentic. And one of the things I've noticed for people is one of the reasons why they're not having success in their business is because it's not authentic. It's not authentic. So we have to get fully through your suffering and through your trauma work, which, if you guys know, I have a kind of a famous trauma work called E4 trauma method, trademarked, which is, it just is incredible to watch what happens on people with this. And obviously seek your medical advice and make sure you are totally under your doctor's care if you're doing trauma work, okay? So birthing your purpose. So doing your trauma work, it births, right? So for example, I had a client that had a lot of trauma around money and past lifetimes, around, being basically murdered, if you will, around over money and doing things. And what happened is she really declared for herself that she wanted to master and help people get peace around money and to end that struggle, and to basically help people awaken to the truth that they are, powerful spiritual beings, and that they get to direct and use money as a beautiful exchange of energy and love within each other, right? So that triumph of her understanding this, plus her passion, and her passion was really, she loved to be outdoors. She loved to travel. And so she was creating a business that basically took people on retreat and had them do all the inner work and deal with their money mindset. Okay. And her skill set was connecting people. So she'd also have other people with her and collaborate on this, obviously, since lockdown, all that. I don't know how that's going exactly, but there's always a will away. She's probably doing stuff online now, right? So triumph plus passion plus skill set. And that's how you birth your purpose. That's how you birth your purpose, okay? So we want to understand that you need to understand all these things, right? So in society, what we do is we do all the inner trauma work, and we birth your triumph. We birth your power. We birth that conviction that is so, it's almost like whatever we've gone through, that becomes the divine calling. It becomes the divine calling to help other people and bring that wisdom to this world. And then passion. Passion is really getting clear of what you really love. And in society, we get clear of what your core values are. So understanding, what are you passionate about? There's a few ways of getting clear of what you're passionate about. One is understanding your core values, what really matters to you. A great question to inquire and to meditate on is, what would you do if you won the lottery? What would you do if money was of no issue? What would you do? How would you spend your time? And who would you spend your time with? And this begins to get you kind of in the inquiry of what you're passionate about. What makes your heart sing? Where do you lose track of time? What is that for you, right? And then skill set, the third one, is a fascinating conversation. So skill set, there's a few ways of discovering your skill set. One is you can literally survey the people in your life and ask them, what am I good at? And what am I not so good at? And you'll start to see what your skill set is. You can also do personality tests and understand, are you somebody that's a visionary? Are you somebody that's an implementer? Are you somebody that's detail oriented? Or do you like to research, things like that? What's your skill set? Are you a connector? Where are you on that? Okay. So birthing your purpose, your triumph, plus your passion, plus your skill set equals your purpose, okay? So you can begin to inquire into this. And what I recommend is making a list of all the things you still haven't healed in yourself. What are the traumas that you still need to handle? And whether you find a professional one-on-one, or whether you join society and begin to do it in the community, or whatever that is, dealing with your trauma is, for me, the most powerful spiritual work you can do, because you release yourself of the limiting beliefs and all that limited identity that comes in the moment of trauma. And we don't get into that right here. You can listen to one of the past podcasts on trauma or E4 trauma method. I break it on down very specifically in those, okay? So birth your purpose and design your life. So how do you design your life? Let's just pretend you've done all of your trauma work, you've gotten clear of what your passion is, and you've gotten clear of what your skill set is, okay? So in society, what we do is we create our life purpose statements. So my invitation is, we call it the 4 areas of life. So imagine that your life, there's a table of your life. And underneath the table, there's 4 legs. And if you don't have those 4 legs, strong, then you're going to be a little off balance. So the 4 areas of your life are money and career, relationships and love, health and vitality, and creative expression, right? Okay. So we want to begin to create your life purpose statement around these things. And what we do is creating a life purpose statement. What you do is you have 4 sentences for your life purpose statement. And each sentence is going to be in the present tense. It's going to have an adjective or a feeling backing of it. And it's also going to have a tangible result. Okay, so for example, money and career may be, I live abundantly off X, Y, and Z amount of money, helping people awaken to their divinity and helping them manifest their dreams. Okay, so that way it is I abundantly or I joyfully, right? I joyfully live off, and I'm able to say the exact amount, so it's very tangible. And it's also stating the intention, and it's stating it in the now, okay? And so you're going to do that in the 4 areas of your life. And this becomes your life purpose statement. This becomes the mantra. It's important when I'm walking the girls through this process. A lot of them will make a long, paragraph for each 4 areas of your life. I don't recommend that. And the reason why is because this becomes your mantra. If your mind starts spiraling off into what you don't want in life, you want to come back to your life purpose statement and state so you can embody that. When you're doing your meditation in the morning and prayer, you can do your life purpose statement so it makes it very clear when you ask your higher self, what is my one thing today that I can do to embody my purpose, my purpose in life, my mission, my legacy. And that's the point of this is, who do you want to be? If this life is a school of life, and we have this incredible, master, it's this master class to develop our consciousness, to develop who we are. It's not about getting a bunch of material things. That's fine as well. But it's really about experiencing the depths of your soul and form. And who do you want to be? What do you want to be a stand for? Our entire work in spirituality is to release the limited beliefs, the limited identity, and come back to the I am, that pure identity that's all powerful and all knowing, and then choose to create what identity and what you want to be a stand for in this life. And that's really what your purpose is. So designing your life looks like embodying that purpose in the most beautiful way. In the 4 areas of your life, in your money and career, in your relationships and love, in your health and vitality, and your creative expression. So today, as you go into this day, I invite you to know that you have a purpose. Your highest purpose is to be the highest version of yourself. I know that whatever suffering you've gone through is you chose it at a spiritual level so that you can have triumph over it, so that you can help teach and help other people that are going through that exact same thing. Maybe it's through addiction. Maybe it's through codependency. Maybe it's through heartache. Maybe it's through, scarcity mindset. Maybe it's through losing, people through death and trying to accept that. Maybe it's about people being able to be courageous enough to go after their dreams. I don't know what it is for you, but I recognize that you have a purpose. Everything you've ever gone through, your entire lineage lives in you. We know this through epigenetics. We know this through everything that you've come all this way. Everything your grandparents suffered for, you get to have triumph over. You get to be the voice for. You get to create, your career if you want out of it. You get to have triumph over it. You get to live with passion and take your skill set and master you have a genius. We want your genius. We want your heart. We want all of you. We want the highest version, the most expressed, right here and right now. So my invitation for you is I actually have a workshop on this. And if you go to my social media under drerin.tv, which is drein.tv on my Instagram, if you go in my bio, there's all the links down there. And you'll see a workshop most likely, unless you're listening to this a long time down the road, maybe it won't be there. But it will be called Birth Your Purpose and Design Your Life, or Purpose, Workshop, okay? So I invite you, it will be free, and it will be all about diving deeper and deeper into exactly what we've said today in really, really depth, so that you can begin to do the process and really begin to birth your purpose and live a life that you love. If you don't love your life, If you don't love what you do, you miss the entire point of life. Why? We have so many people that are living in jobs they hate, in relationships that don't work, in cities that they're just there because it's safe. Live your life. There's this entire planet out there. There's so much to experience. But the greatest experience is to experience all of yourself, your heart, your mind, your soul, all of you. So I just say yes. I am so grateful to have birthed my purpose. Of course, having my son has been the most amazing journey ever. But I have to say that birthing my purpose has been the greatest gift of my life. It's given me so much in all dynamics of my life. It's been incredible. So I say thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so glad I listened to that intuition. I'm so glad I kept seeking and knowing that if I just kept going, I would find the answers. Okay? So have a wonderful day, you guys. I invite you to come into the workshop. It's called Birth Your Purpose and Design Your Life. We're going to birth your purpose, understand your triumphs, your passion, your skill set, and design your life in the 4 areas of your life, creating your life purpose statement. Have a beautiful day, and may you live your truth. Thank you for tuning in to Soulciety and Dr. Erin podcast. If you've had a calling to be a spiritual leader or coach, you can go to soulciety.com and check out our free training. If you've received value here, I would love it if you take a moment and give a 5-star review. In exchange, I have a ton of free gifts for you. Grab your free Awakening book, 40 guided meditations, and digital manifesting masterclass. I also have a free money meditation and worksheet for you so you can begin to break through your scarcity mindset and claim your birthright of prosperity. You can get all of your gifts and learn about our upcoming transformational events in my bio link in both Instagram and Facebook. That's under drerin.tv, which is DRERIN.tv. Also, I'd love to invite you into our free private community on Facebook under groups called Soulciety. That is facebook.com/groups/Soulciety. That's SOULCIETE. Have a divine day and may you live your truth.